Short sleeves this week, Mitcho. That's a little bit unprofessional, don't you think?
A little bit unprofessional, huh?
It's very Saturday afternoon brunchy style.
Well, Saturday afternoon brunch, Andy. How does that work? And a brunch, a breakfast, lunch in the afternoon.
Yeah, well, it's sort of like your Saturday afternoon brunch. So you cook up your sausages, your bacons, your eggs, maybe a little bit of pastry added in there
Maybe
as well.
2 pastries added in there.
Oh,
That's yeah.
for sure. You just do it in the afternoon.
There you go. It's so much more than a football show. 8 games, 50 seconds. This is Inside 50. Well, what a corker to start the round. 2 of the 3 informed teams of the competition.
For sure.
Collingwood, scintillating.
Yep.
Freo, mind-blowing. The Juggernauts, battle it out Subi style.
Yep.
Friday night, tell me about it, Dr.
Well,
Andrew Mays.
Freo are the real deal.
They're the real deal.
They may fall off towards the end of the year, but at the moment they're up there with the best of them.
Certainly are.
It's going to be hard to beat them at Subi all year this year.
Certainly
and
will be.
Very authoritative tonight.
I'm just going to settle down a bit here.
Easy. Collingwood will have to be wary of Freo's midfield. Gee, they're good to watch at the moment. It's time for that time of the week again. I'm going to throw some names and splatter your face.
Right in the face. Throw them at me.
Right in the face. Very pumped up.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Mundy, Main, Barlow, Broughton, Duffield, and oh my God, Inside 50's very own
We love
Stephen
him.
Hill.
What do they all have in common, Andy?
Their run has just been sensational.
No, they've been very,
half
very
forward, half
good.
back, and in the midfield.
Let's talk about
Absolutely
Collingwood,
fantastic.
Andy.
Continue to march on, and structurally they look much better this year with big Chris Dawes up the front.
The biggest lats in the AFL.
Big, strong presence, brings the ball to ground. He's fantastic.
Yep.
Provides a big target up forward. With him and Cloak and the small game round them, they're going to be bloody tough to stop this year.
Yep.
For all those Oz kickers watching out there,
Thousands of them.
don't drop the ball like Chris Dawes. 45-degree angle. I don't know what that's all about.
All the way through.
And
Follow
if you
through.
want
Nice
a
kicking
lesson
action.
on how to rove to big forwards,
Watch who?
Steel Sidebottom's game last week was sensational. 5 goals, hits the pack hard,
Classic crummer.
always in with pace, and kicks with absolute precision on both feet. Put that in a big pot, stir it up, Mitcho.
I said don't do the stirring thing.
I thought it was good.
What do you get when you stir it up, Andy?
Goals.
Goals. 5 goals.
Subin to come in for Freo, huge in, gives them a lot of drive off half-back.
Somehow, after beating Brisbane at their own home ground, Freo go in slight outsiders, $1.95. Pie as well. I guess they've got to be favourites based on their form, $1.85. Think it's the longest we'll see either of these teams this season, but I'm going to stay away, Andy. They're both too good. Don't want to
I
get
wouldn't mind having a little dabble on the Dockers. The D's take on the Eagles, and as you guessed it, the 7th game already at the G.
Yeah, I've got a real bee in my bonnet about this. I think it's silly. Anyway, I've been to 3 of those games at the G so far this year. I've watched it from level 1 twice. I've watched them from level 3. The Ds actually look pretty good.
Yep.
There's been a lot of Dean Bailey bashes out there, but the structure is pretty good.
Like
they look very fit.
Yeah, fast.
And where am I? Bar the uniform inclusion,
Inclusion.
the confusion.
Thank you.
The uniform confusion working against them. Something that was blatantly obvious, and I don't want to harp on it, but we all saw it in the crowd. Why? There's got to be spare tops there or something.
Oh, unbelievable.
Anyway,
They've got green, yellow, purple.
there's so many colours.
Orange.
Just get one of them out there.
Unbelievable.
Barring that, however, the Ds were pretty impressive. Unfortunately, they went down. Bait was very good. Scully, the first AFL player to ever have 18 possessions in a last quarter.
No way.
Yep, last quarter. A few people have done it in other
Good
quarters,
stat.
but he's got good legs. So only at 67% efficiency, though, so he dropped off a little bit, but was an absolute magnet. He's fit like nobody else.
Just run 17 kilometres.
He's a little bit embarrassing to some guys who've been in the system for 4 years, how professionally he goes
the
about
Eagles
it.
even playing, Mitchell?
The Eagles are playing, but I've got
just
one more
the
thing to
Ds.
say. Trengrove, Grimes, Scully, they were in the 3. They were the 3 best for the Ds, and they've all played less than 30 games. The Eagles, well, they beat the comp's second worst team, Hawthorn, last week. They did just enough to win. Josh Kennedy, 6 goals, took some big contested grabs,
Yep.
busted open a few tacks,
Game best.
and he's a
Best
force
game.
for the future. He will be coming up against Warnock, talking about the Ds again.
Almost all Australians.
Stopping machine. Should be a reasonably tight game. Bit of a mismatch. Nick Natanui might have a bit of a field day on Jamar, but I think Melbourne should win by 2 or 3 goals.
Melbourne 140, Eagles 330. I like Melbourne, but the odds are too tight to back up.
All right, Bulldogs and Sydney. Looking forward to this one, Doc. Love to see the Bulldogs start getting some form because we know I had a big tipple on them pre-season.
Yeah, well, it's funny how long a week is in football. If football went for 18 minutes a quarter, then the Bulldogs would be coming off a loss, and this would be an absolute crunch
Well,
game.
if
for them.
ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, Andy. If
You've
we
been
work,
working on that
mate,
for a long time.
I did actually, I've landed in my head. If we spoke in hypotheticals, Andy, we'd be here all week
Yeah, well,
speaking.
okay, as it stands, Sydney, 2-15, they're coming off a humiliating loss to the Cats and
18 minute
losing
quarters.
Mumford and Sons in the ruck.
Yeah, I'm going to put Mumford and Sons to rest, Andy. I know that
Alright.
one of your girlfriends has said, I like when you say Mumford and Sons on the show. I'm putting it to rest. Well, I don't know, one of your girlfriends. If we're going to go
Legion
with
of
just
followers.
Mummy or Mumford from now on, okay?
Well, Big Shane, I think.
Yeah, a big Shane, yeah?
That's a shock.
You like that?
Prefer Mumford and Sons. I don't ban you from saying silly things.
I don't say silly things, Andy.
No, you just have a silly haircut.
He's had a pot out of 2 weeks in a row here.
Oh, it's a shock.
Come on, let's talk about the game.
I think we might see a similar story here, unfortunately. The Dogs haven't clicked into gear yet, Mitch, and in my doctorate research,
Tell me about it.
I've been studying Big Bad
In the
bustling Bazza, and he just needs a couple of good touches, and he'll kick 8 soon.
Ooh.
Canberra will see this game, and it's a small ground. It'll see extended action if we get the World Cup in
Fingers crossed for the World Cup.
2022, because England will get in 18.
Agreed.
Midfielders can kick numerous goals on this ground because of its size, and expect Akajia, the coon dog, Griffin, and Co to get amongst it on the scoreboard. Heath Grundy, almost the most
Very
improved
good.
player in the AFL this year.
Go to
He'll
Baz.
go to Big Baz.
Okay.
Special hello also to Rocket, who rang the boys in the office this week to
Just
say
a
g'day.
little-
So,
Hello.
hello, Rocket.
Hello, Rocket.
Bulldogs 170, and they'll get home for mine by over 40, which is paying a juicy 475 for my A1 office fit-outs.
Better of the week. Better of the week. I'm not convinced though, Andy. Since 2007, the Swans are the third best team, coming off a loss.
Mhm.
Only Geelong and St Kilda better. I think they'll bounce back, but you're right, Mumford out, an injury or two, and they probably won't be good enough to get over the Lions.
Mhm.
Still not convinced with Barry though yet. I know you're talking him up. A few people are talking him up, waiting for him to explode. If the Dogs don't make the grand final this year, Barry's a failed experiment in my eyes.
Big
the Barry
call,
Hall
probably
experiment is a fail.
Anything
Yep.
short of a grand final will be seen as a fail for a number of clubs, Mitcho.
Okay.
And 2 of those are up in your next game, Geelong and Brisbane at the Gabatoir.
Yeah, they sure are, Doc. The Lions have only beaten Geelong once since 2006, and we know what sort of form they were in back then. That game, however, was round 15 last year, so they know how to beat the Cats because they beat them by 40 points not long ago. You and I were chatting before we went to air about Brisbane, Andy, and I said if 2010 doesn't see top 4, it's a big backward step for Brisbane.
Mhm.
You said they had no chance of making top 4, let alone a prelim.
Mhm.
And I've concluded that this recycling program of Vossies will be declared a total and utter loss if they can't do it this season because with Black and Power getting over the hill, getting on, if they don't get up there, Drummond with the injury, they're really going to start to struggle. And their season's on the line. They have to win this game.
Very good work, Mitch. Stunning, actually.
You like that? Thank you very much, Doc.
See the way I pump you up, build you up,
Yeah, you're a
get
nice
the confidence in you.
boy. It's nice.
It is.
It's beautiful. Really like it.
Anyway, how about the Cats, Mitcho?
3 things about the Cats. 1, Ablett is superhuman. Another 200-plus point game in the Supercoach. Number 2, Podsiagly is the greatest / saddest story in AFL football.
Like it.
It's taken 8 years to get him in, playing top football at AFL level. You could get 500 AFL goals. He's never going to get a chance to. Number 3, Chapman is the best game breaker in the comp,
Can someone man up on it?
and he never gets a player.
Ever.
It's ridiculous. He's one of the best. He's one of the elite
Cats to
best
win.
players. Cats to win by 4 goals.
Yeah, me too. Cats 140, Lions 355. Probably a little risky here too. Cats will be pretty good value in a multi for mine.
Well, here's a Saturday night football belter. Hopefully there's a good movie on there, Andy. North and the Crows, Doc's analysis, coming up in part 2, along with Hawks, Tigers, Essendon Saints, and world famous viewer artwork of the week.
Click here.
We love it. Click it. We'll see you in part 2.